don't even know if I could even do anything anymore. Lots of hmms. What should I do with my time? I'm always constantly stuck in Deltarune and all that other shit. So I don't know what... I know what I can do. Yo, Alan! What? Hey, you! Yes, you! What are you gonna review today? I wasn't gonna review anything. After my 2 streams I made earlier, I was just gonna, lay on the bed. I have some laundry getting done right now. I was just gonna chill out. Maybe watch some YouTube or something. No. You ain't gonna do any of those. What you're gonna do is you're gonna review my game. What? Spamton64 isn't even a game, it's a ROM hack. Does it really look like I care? Review it! Spamton, come on, bro. I've made so many videos about you. I was about to actually upload shorts about you today. Wait, seriously? Yes. Oh, then why don't we do both? You review and do those shorts. If you don't, I'm gonna be forced to ask you to give me some chromer, or that heart-shaped object that you have. So, do the review to keep my soul. Yes! Alright, fine. I'll do the review real quick. Maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Alright? And that's it. Alright? My dad just got back from work. And, wants to chill out. So, I'll do this review quick. You just go on your merry way. Thank you so much, Alan, for being the G that you are. Jesus Christ, man. Alright, let me do this review thing. Okay, so, yeah, you guys saw it. Spamton will do a review. Bet. We'll do a review on Super Spamton64. So, before we get into the game itself, why don't we talk about, let's take a trip back down memory lane. What's up, Boyd? What's up, Baden? How y'all doing? Alright, let's take a trip down memory lane real quick. So, how did I discover Super Spamton64, right? My voice is doing a lot better. I just need to make sure I don't really speak all that much. But so far, I'm kind of messing it up and by speaking and stuff, by earlier and stuff. Maybe the pancakes had something to do with it. I don't know. But I'm doing okay at the moment. But anyway, so I think, how far back does this go? Because if y'all remember, I love Super Mario 64 to death. I played it a lot. And what I mean by a lot is, I played it to stupid degrees, I played it to degrees that, wait, is this shirt on backwards? Oh my god, my shirt is on backwards. That is crazy. Didn't even realize that. Usually I would get on myself for that, but I didn't. Anyways, as I was saying, usually when I find, stuff for Super Mario 64, I be playing it, having fun, and, after a while, Super Mario 64, kind of stopped being fun for me, just playing the regular game, going for all 120, so I started to spice things up by finding ROM hacks and stuff, and, a lot of those ROM hacks for Super Mario 64 were actually some of the most fun that I've played, hence why I have so many Mario 64 ROM hack videos on my page. But other than that, I remember I stumbled upon Spamton64. I think it was one day I was just watching YouTube, and I remember Spamton64, either full game or long play was recommended to me. And I remembered when seeing that, I was like, no fucking way. And keep in mind, right, this was, in the middle of, this is probably before I redid the Spamton64 dubs. This was before I think I even did the other Spamton dubs that I'm currently uploading, right? This is before all that, right? And it's Spamton64. Oh my god. And it's the entire game of Super Mario 64 with Spamton just being thrown in it, right? Kind of like Super Luigi 64, if you guys remember that ROM hack I played a couple of years back, right? And I was like, you know what? I think playing Spamton in this day and age, right? Because as you guys know, I love Deltarune and Undertale a lot, and obviously Super Mario 64 being one of the greatest 3D platformers out there. All right, one of my personal favorites that I've played for many years. What could go wrong in this playthrough? So I decided to sail the 7 seas for a little bit, try to find Super Spamton 64. And I found it, I got it whipped up on my totally legal N64, and when I did, Oh my god. I remember I started playing like Spamton 64 like I think it was like a couple weeks back, like by this time since or not even a couple weeks. I think it's been a week or so when I first did a stream on it real quick. Let me look up the first stream of this. Yeah, my first stream was like 13 days ago, and then I did part 2 12 days ago, which means it was like a day after. And then I did the final bit like 3 days ago, right? So when I did Spamton 64, man, it was some of the most fun I had playing Super Mario 64 in a really long time. And again, I say that because like playing as Spamton, I know like it's you know, for a lot of people it might not matter that I'm you know that you play Spamton or whatever, because it's still people, there's probably people out there that are probably gonna think, oh, it's just regular Mario 64, who cares, with a new character, bro, like who cares? Dude, it's not just you have Spamton and you play him through all like, you know, collecting him all 120 power stars. This person that created Spamton 64 went above and beyond, bro. I'm talking changed up all the power star designs, like for the sprite for the power stars. There were not only sprite changes, but the OST was completely changed. Dialogue between Spamton and the characters is completely different from the original Mario 64 dialogue. And, you know, not only it includes Spamton talking to them, but it also includes them talking to Spamton. It's kind of like, it's like this really cool Super Mario 64 Romhack that goes a little bit above and beyond. Not just like changing the level layouts or anything, like they kept that vanilla 64, but it's like a what if take. Like if Spamton like invaded the world of Super Mario 64, you know, a brand new world for him to explore instead of just being trapped in the world of Deltarune. And it's like you throw him in there, you know, before Mario even gets there, you know, in Mario 64 apparently, and that's how the game starts. And honestly, I love it. Like, I love how the music is completely different. Some themes are basically based around, like, obviously, Spamton G. Spamton as a character. Like, when you first meet him, some stages have that as a theme. Other stages have, like, you know, Big Shot, like, remixed in some sort of way. Other levels have, Dial-A-Phone playing in the background. Like, the game over screen is Dial-A-Phone. I think when you erase a file, I think Dial-A-Phone plays as well. There's so much that this 64 like game does, and I kind of want to show you like how happy I was like while playing this game, because sure, yes, again, like I mentioned before, it is vanilla Super Mario 64. You are going through all the same stages, but it's a little different with the music, the energy surrounding the game. Everything just felt like awesome again. Everything felt fresh. It felt like when I was playing Super Mario 64 for the very first time, man, where I got on and I was having so much fun just playing that, like, I didn't want to get off, you know? I mean, obviously I wanted to get off so I could, like, go on a walk, you know, continue doing my stuff, because I go on walks all the time now. You guys know that. And continue doing my other things, because I don't want to sit and play video games all day, you know? I want to do, like, just mostly chill out throughout most of the day and stuff, so that's obviously why I got off the first time, but like, you can just see, like, if you go back and revisit my 3 Spamton 64 videos, you can see how much I loved doing Spamton. Like, Spamton's voice, Spamton everything, bro. Like, it infested my mind. And keep in mind, Spamton's one of my favorite characters of all of Deltarune, / all of, you know, just all of Deltarune in general. He's literally way up there, all right, as one of my absolute favorites, right? Usually I don't like saying absolute favorites or he's my favorite, because that means it's like you set a standard and it's like if they don't see that standard or something, and I don't know, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings and do all that other mumbo jumbo. Anyways, as you can see, look at this, bro. Look when I played for the second time, bro. Well, let me turn off the TV. The TV isn't high enough. Sorry. Give me a sec. Let me do that again. Hold on. I'm yelling something.
I want that heart-shaped object that you have.
Dude, you see that? I spent the first...
64. Super Spamton 64. Super Spamton 64. Wahoo. Ha. Yo. Chris. I want that heart-shaped object that you have.
Dude, just in that moment, I knew, right? I knew getting on Spamton 64 was going to completely change my outlook on Super Mario 64. Now, yes, I'm not going to sit here and tell you all the problems regular Super Mario 64 has, right? Because in general, like, we all know Super Mario 64 has a lot of issues, and I just want to say, for anybody that loves Super Mario 64 and that loves Deltarune, please give Spamton 64 a shot. Man, I'm telling you, it changed me in a way, bro. It changed me. Like, I remember, like, playing Super Spamton 64, I was going through, like, a dark... Well, not a dark... I wouldn't say a dark time, but I was going through a period of time when playing Super Spamton 64 where I just didn't want to do a whole lot of things anymore. And I remember my final Super Spamton 64 video like it was yesterday, even though it was just 11 days ago. I remember that stream, because somebody also asked me on a later live stream, what was like the happiest you've been? And I will hold, I think the happiest I've ever been, or at least in that period of time, because obviously I'm good now, but like keep in mind, before that, I wasn't playing that many video games, I wasn't really like diving deep like crazy and shit, like I was just kind of, in my mind was kind of in like a new, like a separate space, it kind of felt like, you know, when doing this. But like when I did that final bit of Spamton 64 fighting Final Bowser, something just lit a spark. I remember that final part, I was doing so much Spamton that day. Like that whole 2-hour, 40-minute live stream was just straight Spamton. Straight Spamton, G Spamton. Hey, look at me, I'm Spamton, G Spamton. Look at me go. You know, just that whole stream was just filled with so much positive, overwhelming, super crazy energy. I still remember the day I woke up, bro. I remember I woke up that day to do that final part. I was just overwhelming with, like, positive energy. And usually me, like, I do have a lot of positive energy, but, you know, I was kind of, you know, usually most days I don't really have, like, super crazy pumped up energy, you know. It's only like in certain days or certain spurts of time that I will have like big burst of energy, like that final bit of that Super Spamton 64 live stream, just watching myself fight Bowser, like finally reach that point. And I remember one of the reasons why I played as well, like Super Spamton 64, was because of a song Juno Songs made. Juno Songs made a Spamton 64 song. Like, I'm dead ass. Like, it's actually one of the most popular things when you look up Spamton 64. And this song right here, right? Bowser versus Spamton Big Shot, Super Spamton 64. This only came out 2 years ago, right? And the game itself came out like 3 years ago or something like that. But I remember, I listened to this. I found a long play first. But then after a while, I started listening to this song, and I remember this song alone motivated me to get back on Super Mario 64, and we're going to replay it as Spamton, because this song right here slaps, right? Can't wait. You know, y'all should go watch this. Go watch this. This song is actually pretty cool. It's like a duet song where they're both singing at the same time at points, singing at each other sometimes, singing but at the same time simultaneously at other points, and it's just amazing. If you love Juno songs and Spamton, you know, you'll get it. Heck, even some of my Spamton is a little bit originated from Juno songs, just a little bit. You know, I try to make mine different because I don't want to make, you know, a clone Spamton or whatever. Some lines do sound like Juno songs is Spamton, but other times I try to make the Spamton voice a little bit different than that. I try to narrow it down, you know, to different types of tones and other types of tones, to do Spamton G Spamton, you know what I mean? Just, haha. I like that part, but you get it, right? But I remember just doing those things, getting on Super Spamton 64. To tell you guys the truth, in this little small review, go play it. It is one of the funnest, like, ROM hacks I've ever played. It is well-deserved in its popularity. Shoutouts to the creator of Spamton 64 for creating such a legendary masterpiece. I mean, they rearranged songs from Deltarune in its entirety into Super Mario 64, man. That must have taken so much fucking time to do. And honestly, I love, like, Big Shot Super Mario 64 version. Y'all want to hear it real quick? Here, I'll give y'all Big Shot. Big Shot Super Mario 64 version. I got you, so we can hear, like, Spamton's theme, Super Mario 64 arrangement. Here you go, hear this. I still remember being on top of Bowser's castle when I got there. Oh, Bowser! I'm here for you!
Oh my god, Spamton, get out of my house, man! Jeez, always doing this stuff.
And it's so good. I remember being so excited hearing this song. I still remember being so excited when you go into Final Bowser, you're in the, like, you transform into Spamton Neo for the final battle, and oh, dude, Spamton64 does so much right. It's awesome. I mean, especially his dialogue towards other enemies like King Babam, you know, the Giant Wiggler about deals, you know, King Thwomp. It's like, it's so in character for Spamton to say those things towards those other characters. It's not even funny, man. And I know this review mostly sounds like I'm geeking because it's that good of a ROM hack. Please, somebody, please. I'm just saying out there, please, somebody make a Spamton boss fight for Super Mario RPG. And, oh, we're golden, bro. We're golden, bro. Give me all the Deltarune fights in Super Mario RPG. That would be lit. Anyways, as I'm saying, I don't want to make this review too long. I want to make this as short as possible so that way, because we already did 2 long streams. Well, we did one 40-minute and then one 2-hour stream. So I don't want to take more of your time today other than the shorts I'm about to upload right after this. Thank you so much for watching my Spamton64 review. Shout out again to the creator of Spamton, Super Spamton64. You're a GOAT. You're a G for creating this. You're a G for allowing everybody to play this, you know, and just putting so much time into it. You're a goddamn G, and I hope you watch this one day and maybe see how cool, like, your game is, because honestly, Super Spamton64, it is worth a play. It is honestly worth a play. Now, I would recommend this game after you played the original, though. I'm not going to say, like, I prefer Super Spamton64 over the original, because obviously I would play the original experience so you can get familiar with all the locations, all the worlds. I would say play Super Spamton64 if it's been a while and you don't want to just revisit the original game. You want to revisit the game with its originality intact, but also with something to spice it up, like with dialogue or the soundtrack or, you know, the character itself. This helps spice things up, and that's what I feel like Super Spamton64 does well. It helps spice up, like, keep its original style, but also spice it up in some ways to make Super Mario 64 a lot more enjoyable. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share the video with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time.
Wait, that's it? That's the end of the review?
Only an 18-minute review? Alan, that's a sin! Why isn't it not 20 to 30 minutes of a review? I mean, Spamton, like I said, it's a ROM hack, bro. It's not like it's a full game, like a full new game, where I have to talk about everything in detail. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough!
I mean, and you're getting videos, so who cares? You're getting videos anyway. You're absolutely right. You better upload those Deltarune fan dubs of me, Alan.
That's what gets you views in this bitch!
And I promise you that. Spamton's not a robot, he's actually a puppet. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share with your friends, and I'll see you guys later. Help.